Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I am doing a Q&A, which is the first time I've ever done a Q&A. I always wanted to do one, but I guess I was just too scared that no one would reply or no one would ask questions. But I decided to just place a little question sticker on my Instagram yesterday, and I actually got a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to answer them all. So yes, let's start with the questions. The first one I got is, where do you find your inspiration? And she also asked, when do you start painting? So I don't know if those are kind of the same question, but I'm just going to answer them kind of together. And I actually got the question of where do you find inspiration a few times. So I guess nature is a really big inspiration for me, which I probably don't even have to say because it's quite obvious if you look at my paintings. Everything surrounding nature is just so inspiring to me. Like when I go to the woods or a park or anything and I'm in nature, then I get so inspired and I always just cannot wait to get home so I can paint again. But also, like, right now it is spring and some like plants and flowers are starting to like sprout and bloom and all that jazz, and sometimes I just have to walk to the grocery store, which, I mean, it's not surrounded by lots of nature because I do live in the city, but still, like, the few things I do see are still really inspiring to me. So yes, I guess just everything that has to do with nature and just the outside world. But also I do read a lot of books, which can be really inspiring as well. Following other artists on Instagram and on YouTube. I also really enjoy watching people's like studio vlogs and sketchbook tours and stuff like that, which is also like really inspiring for me to see, and it always makes me want to paint. Also, there was a time when I played a lot of Animal Crossing, and for some like weird reason that also really inspired me, because there are lots of like animals and insects in the game. So sometimes I would like catch an insect and I didn't know like what it was, so I would Google it and then I would paint it, which is kind of funny. But so yeah, like as far as my inspiration goes, I think it can be anything really. So yeah. What is your favorite painting you've ever done and why? I do really like my bumblebee painting, which I also made a print of. Sometimes you do a painting and then a few days later you look at it and you're like, how did I ever do that? That's what the bumblebee painting kind of is for me. Like, I don't think I can do it again, basically. So that's probably why it's my favorite painting I've ever done. But also I did a series of like 5 butterflies last year, and I also do really like them as well. Yeah. What art medium do you like using the most at the moment? And it can be anything. I think at the moment it is actually embroidery. I'm in a bit of an art block, or just not feeling really inspired at all, actually, which feels weird to say after answering the question about being inspired. But yeah, I don't know, I just don't really feel like painting lately, and I know it will come again, so I'm just leaving it as it is and doing other like creative things. So something that I also really like doing is embroidery, which, yeah, it has been my favorite art medium at the moment. I really enjoy embroidery. Sometimes it does take me a little bit of like motivation to actually start, but Like once I started on an embroidery, I just cannot stop. So yeah, definitely embroidery. And other art mediums that I do really like when I do paint more than I do now are definitely gouache and watercolors, and I also do really like to combine those two. So often I do start with watercolors and then I finish the painting with some gouache. Sometimes I just add a little gouache, sometimes I don't even add gouache, but often I do start with watercolors and it will turn into a gouache painting. So yeah, those two are definitely my favorite, along with embroidery. What is a fond childhood memory you have in nature, if any? Oh, I do have so many. First of all, me and like my family, like different kind of family members, would always go to the woods when autumn started, and we would go pick like acorns and chestnuts, pine cones as well. Like we would get all a plastic bag so we could collect all these things, and then when we got home we would like make little crafts with them, which I always really liked doing. It was one of my favorite things. I guess autumn has always been my favorite season, even when I was a kid. So yeah, I do really enjoy it. And yeah, that was really fun. And we had these woods in our town, and it always had chestnuts that you could eat. So yeah, I always really liked that. I would also just be obsessed with insects already. I would always try to like catch them in my garden and like take care of them and stuff. And I would also try to dig up like worms and stuff and put them in like a bucket of soil, and also like try to take care of them as well. Also, this one time we went on a little holiday and we had this sort of like cabin in the woods, and I remember being a lot of snails around the cabin, and I would all collect them and put them in like a bucket as well. And then when it was time to go home, like a few days later or after a week, I don't know, I just didn't want to leave like my snails. So I convinced my parents to take the bucket of snails with me, and they did allow. I don't know how, but yeah, when we got home the snails were like everywhere around the car. Yeah, I really liked snails already, I think, when I was younger. Let me look for some other questions. Someone also asks, what is your favorite place you've ever been? I really do like England and Scotland and just like the UK and stuff, but my favorite place is definitely Scotland. I went to Edinburgh with my boyfriend 2 years ago, and it was the best time ever. I still miss it so much. Like every week I think I look at pictures of me in Edinburgh and just all the things we did and just the city, and I honestly miss it so much. Like I felt so at home, and yeah, I would really like to go back sometime, because yeah, I really loved it. I don't always like holidays because I do get really homesick, but as I said, I just really felt right at home and I didn't want to leave. So yeah, it's definitely my favorite place. What is your favorite season in the Netherlands? Well, I guess I kind of answered this one already, but I do really like autumn. I do like the winter as well. Like I think a lot of people dislike the winter kind of because it is really dark and cold and all that jazz, but I think it's kind of cozy, and yeah, I always really enjoy the winter times as well. I do like spring as well, especially this spring. I'm starting a little vegetable garden on my balcony, and all the seeds that I have planted already are sprouting and turning into little plants, and it has me feeling so excited. So I'm also really excited for spring this year. I'm not so excited for summer, to be really honest, because I don't really like summer. Like, for one, I am a ginger and I just burn within seconds, even though I have sunscreen on. So yeah, we'll see about that. But besides summer, I do like all seasons, to be honest. But if I had to pick one, it would definitely be autumn. What app do you use to edit YouTube videos? as I just started a channel. I do use Adobe Premiere Pro, which I know is really expensive, so I don't think this can really help you, because I do really recommend it, but I do also understand that it is really expensive to just buy if you're just starting out with YouTube. But there are a lot of free editing programs, so yeah, maybe just have a look at what's available for you. And yeah, let me have a sip of tea. Okay, this is a good one. What was art school like for you? What did you dislike about it? Would you recommend it? Art school was definitely an experience for me. And I still don't really know what to think about it. I definitely did struggle, and I did like it, but I also really disliked it almost as much as I did like it. It was just really unfair sometimes, I feel like. Art school is a really hard one for me, because sometimes I just feel like fine art wasn't the best course for me, and I always really cared and worried about what the teachers would think of my work, so I would always keep that in mind when I would do paintings for school, which resulted in me just doing paintings I didn't really want to do for years. And I think the last year in art school is when I started doing paintings that I really wanted to do, but before that I just really did what I thought the teachers wanted to see from me, and that really didn't make me happy. So yeah, and also, as I said, I was in the fine art course, but if I had the chance to do something like illustration, then I would definitely pick illustration, but it wasn't a choice at my school. We only had fine art and then cross media, which is graphic design and everything around it. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think art school is a really good place, but it's also not a good place for everyone, and I don't think it was the best place for me. We did get a lot of freedom, which was really nice. The first year were a lot of classes, but from the second year on, you would just sit in your studio and make work for yourself, and the teachers would visit and talk about you, about your work and your life, and just you as an artist. And I think that was really nice, but also kind of hard. I also feel kind of weird when people act like people who studied art are not self-taught, because we didn't have any lessons or anything in painting, and I feel like a lot of art schools are like that. It's not like you get painting lessons and just learn how to paint, because you do everything yourself. You just do get a bit more advice, which is true, but I do still consider myself as self-taught, because yeah, I never really had a painting lesson in my life. We did have a few workshops here and there, but it was once or twice a year or something, so yeah. I'm sorry for all my rambling, by the way. But yeah, again, do I recommend it? I don't know. Yes, I know, it just really depends on you as a person, and I think you have to see for yourself if it's something that you would like, or if you want to study something else. Yeah. Do you have a favorite or recommendations for any books? Your art is very inspiring. Thank you so much. I actually do read a lot, but I don't have one favorite book. I started the year with The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I really enjoyed it. I actually want to reread it again already. But yeah, I don't know. I always find it kind of hard to talk about books, because I don't really have a certain taste in books as well. I just read so many different things that I don't really know what I like when it comes to books sometimes. I have been trying to read a lot more classics this year. I just finished The Little Princess by, I don't know who it's by, but I'm sure if you Google it you will find it. But it's also a classic and I really enjoyed it. So if you want to read more classics, then that's definitely a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I can link my Goodreads in the description so you can kind of see the books that I've read and how much stars I gave them. So yeah, I got that question actually a few times. But I don't really have like one favorite book, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I do have, but then I will come back to it. And I also got this question a few times, which is my favorite thing to draw or paint. Well, it's just insects, but not like a particular one. Yeah, I don't know. I find it kind of hard to answer that question, but as I said, I don't really have a favorite. Yeah, and also someone asked what my least favorite insect is. I don't really have insects that I really like dislike, but I do like moths and butterflies and like insects where you cannot see their legs all the time, so I don't have to draw them, like butterflies and stuff. I really do like painting bugs, but I just hate drawing the legs. I don't know why, but it's not like my least favorite, but painting wise they are the least favorite to paint because again I just hate drawing and painting the legs. But I don't really have a least favorite one. I just think they're all like so unique in their own way, and yeah. Also, someone asked me if I can do more painting videos. I do really want to, but I feel like painting videos are definitely like watched way less than my studio vlogs and like packing videos and stuff, so I always find it kind of hard because they are a lot of work and I don't feel like as much people do enjoy them. But if you do really enjoy them, I'm going to do one in the future soon, I promise. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. What makes you so drawn to insects? Honestly, I have no clue. I think I kind of like grew up in them and I was just like always interested in them. Like even like little ants and stuff, I would always really like them. Like when we would have like a lot of ants in a house or somewhere in a garden and my parents wanted to get rid of them, it would make me like so sad because I just didn't want them to get killed, even though it was just like a little ant. Also, I do like all animals basically. I am such an animal lover, but I just don't really like drawing like fur and hair, so I think that's also why I draw them a lot, or it's kind of like my thing in my drawing style and stuff. And I think that's kind of why it's like my theme, because I just really don't like drawing animals with fur. I don't know why, but I know it's something that I can practice and get better at, but I just don't feel the need for it, so yeah, I don't know. Do you have any dream travel destination for when it's safe again? Well, again, I just really like the UK and I've only been to a few places in the UK, so there are so many more that I would like to visit. I would also really like to go to Ireland, which I've never been to, so yeah, I don't really like countries where it's like really hot and like a typical summer holiday. Like I'd rather go to the UK, or as I said, I would like to go to Ireland or something. I've mentioned this before, but I am ginger and I burn so easily that I literally cannot even spend a day at the beach because it would just burn me alive. So yeah, I'd rather go to the UK, or somewhere else in Europe would be fun as well. Maybe go camping in France or something, because we can go there by car if we had a car. Yeah. How would you describe the change in your art style over the past year? Oh, that's a hard one actually. I don't really know. Like, I recently did a sketchbook tour of like all my sketchbooks, and I really think you can tell how my art style like really developed over the years, but I think it definitely got more detailed. But I also learned how to not overwork a painting, because looking back at some paintings of mine, I really do think I overworked some of them because I wanted to try to add as much detail as possible, and yeah, I don't really like that anymore. So I think I really learned how to stop and see when a painting is finished, which is also something that did change my drawing style, I think. I also think that I grew a lot more comfortable with the kind of subjects I'm drawing and painting. I sometimes felt like I had to draw all the things in order for people to like them, because, you know, like insects and animals and just nature related topics are like very specific, and I know not everyone likes them, so I always tried really hard to do a bit of everything, and over the years I just stopped doing that and I just started doing what I really wanted to do, and that definitely did change my art style as well, because now I'm just painting what I feel like painting and drawing what I feel like drawing. So yeah. What is your favorite butterfly? Butterflies, I'm not really sure, but I do have a favorite moth, or actually I do have a few of them, but one of my favorite ones is a garden tiger moth. I don't know, it's like really simple, but for some reason I just really like them. I also really like the atlas moth, which I think is the biggest moth out there, but don't quote me on it. I think this is going to be the second to last question. My favorite movies, shows, games. Is there any specific fantasy world you enjoy getting lost in? Well, first of all, I do enjoy playing Animal Crossing, as I did mention. I'm not the biggest fan of like TV shows and movies, because I cannot watch a movie without like getting distracted or something. Like, I love watching a movie and doing some crochet or drawing or painting at the same time, but I find it really hard to like focus on watching a whole movie. Like, people who binge watch like a whole series, I just cannot do that at all. However, I am rewatching N with an E for the third time, I think, and I think it's one of my favorite things on Netflix. And I recently got Stardew Valley on my Switch, and I've been loving it. I've been like obsessed. I played it for like 2 days straight. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I cannot like pinpoint a specific thing that I'm obsessed with at the moment. Yeah. Have been asked like a few times, but are like worded a bit different each time, but yeah, I'm searching for ones that I haven't really answered yet. What are other hobbies of yours? Oh, I do like this one. Well, as I said, I do read a lot, so that's definitely a hobby of mine. I do find it quite hard sometimes to find the time to read, but I try to like slow down in the evenings and make some time to read. So yeah, I also got into like crochet literally last week, and I have been loving it. I really want to make like blankets and stuff for my friends, and I don't know, I'm just really excited about it, but I'm not very good at it yet. Embroidery wise, I also do really like cross stitch, because I am a bit of a grandma. I also do really like thrift shopping or going to charity shops and find cute secondhand things. Yeah, I'm just a sucker for everything secondhand and like vintage and stuff. I don't know if that's like really a hobby, but it kind of is to me, I think. I used to play guitar and the piano, but when I moved, my parents sold my piano, which is so sad, and I still do have my guitars, but I don't really play anymore, to be honest, which I really should do again. But yeah, I just have too many hobbies, to be honest. I also really like taking pictures, especially on film. I don't know if YouTube's kind of a hobby. I think it is, because I don't make money off of it, so YouTube as well, I guess. What else? I like gardening, even though I don't have a garden anymore. I do have 2 balconies, so I'm starting a little vegetable garden, or at least I'm trying to. I hope it will work out. I think I'm going to end this video because I have been talking for 25 minutes and yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video and just hear me ramble, which is all I do basically. I hope you enjoyed this one and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!